Hi everybody, it's Alex Tennis and welcome to the Wilson Clash 100 review. So, I know I'm a little bit late, but I really wanted to do a Wilson Clash review because this racket is really unique and I've tried the older version, so for me it was really important to try the V2 version. Just before we're starting to talk about the specs and all that stuff, I just want to talk about something that I found really interesting about this racket. A couple of years ago, this racket was unknown from the public. When Wilson released this racket, they did really something that was out of the box. They didn't put this racket into a lot of pros' hand. You don't have any pro that endorse this racket. They just made a video with, I think you had Dimitrov and other player like that. They were just trying the racket and saying that this racket felt different. But at the end, they didn't endorse the racket. The reason why is because Wilson wanted you to feel that it's your racket and not the pro's racket. And that was a big gamble, but it worked. The thing for me that makes this racket, I don't know, feel a bit weird is that I feel like the first version was really good, but I don't know if they can really improve for the second version. So we'll see. That will be my biggest concern about this review. Now we can go for the specs. So it's a 100 square inch head size racket with a 295 grams unstrung weight. It's a 16 by 19 and it's a 10-point headlight. Obviously this racket should be comfortable, but I'm curious to see if this racket will have feel, because I felt like the older version didn't have a lot of feel. It was very comfortable but without, a lot of feel. But with the 45 technology, it may change a lot of things. For the cosmetic, I'm a huge fan. My favorite color in life is red, so obviously I like this racket. It looks super good. The only thing that I can say, as a stringer, when I'm doing the knob, if I'm not careful enough, it's gonna scrap the paint shop. So to all the stringer out there, if you're stringing this version of the Wilson Clash, be careful. Alright, so I think it's pretty much it. Let's go on the court and try this racket. Alright, so the Wilson Clash 100 V2 has a little bit more feel than the V1. It's a great thing because, like I've said earlier, the V1 was a little bit more, I won't say dampened, because I know that it's the goal of this racket, but I felt like sometimes you were hitting the ball and you didn't really felt where the ball was landing in your racket. But for this one with the 45 technology, yeah, it definitely feels a bit better. It's a little bit more stable also, so I think it's also due to the 45 technology. Now, it's a little bit tougher just to get the ball to land in because it has a little bit more power, I feel, just because of the better stability. The ball have a tendency to land a bit long, but again, it's a little bit more of a personal thing because I tend to hit with control-oriented rackets, so it's probably due to that. For the serve, it's pretty good for every spin serve, so a kick, a slice, but when you're going for flat serve, it's a little bit tougher. But again, you really can adapt to this racket, and I feel like it's possible to get a good flat serve with this racket, but it's just a bit more challenging and you just need to work with it a little bit. But if you're playing with the Clash V1, you will not feel really that much difference from the V1 version. Just a bit more feel, a bit more power. So if you're looking out for that, I definitely recommend to try the new Clash. Alright, so if you read the title carefully, maybe you start to feel like why I have written Wilson, we have a problem. And this is the part where I'm talking about this. So when I was trying the racket, I was trying just to get the feel of it and try to guess for which type of player this racket is, what is his strength, his weakness, and all that stuff. I'm always doing that. And I was really focused on that, playing with the racket. Again, hit more shot, hit more serve, volley, and all that stuff. And when I got off the court, I just realized something. The Wilson Ultra V4 and the Wilson Clash V2 are pretty much the same. I got to take a look at the stiffness rating, but for the rest, it's pretty much the same. And for me, that's a big problem. So that's why I have written, Wilson, we have a problem. because the Clash was the comfort racket and the Ultra was the powerful racket, but the Ultra had a little bit more feel, and now the Clash has the feel and it has the power, so those two rackets are the same. So Wilson has to find a solution. They had to erase one of the two rackets for me, so let's see what will happen in the future. But for the rest, it's overall a good racket. If you're really liking the comfort of the Wilson Clash, I highly recommend to try this one. Alright, so now let's go with the rating. Unfortunately, the racket is fine, but I mean, for all the reasons that I told you, I got to give this racket a 7 out of 10. Thanks to Racketville for giving me this demo. Without them, it would not have been possible. And see you next time. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Bye bye.